Good morning, everyone. My name is Cameron. Welcome to my kitchen here in Thailand. And today I'm super excited. We're going to be making healthy donuts. So I'm really excited. I've just been experimenting recently. I've done a collaboration with a nutritionist here on the island, Libby. You can find her Instagram through some of my posts. But we've created donuts, and this got me on a donut kick. You can check out a real video finding the recipe in quick form. But yeah, so this got me super excited about donuts, vegan, gluten-free, plant-based donuts. So then I've been experimenting in my own kitchen as well. I made some chocolate donuts just the other day, healthy, clean ingredients. And so today I'm super excited again to be sharing kind of the base of the donuts that I use, and we can get experimental with flavors and different ideas. So I've got some of the base ingredients. If you're cooking along with me, let me know. I always post a live demo schedule on my newsletter, so make sure to subscribe on roottorise.online so you can know when and where to join me, what ingredients to bring, so we can cook together. And I as well posted the recipe on yesterday's Instagram post. So I have people joining us. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know if you're cooking with me. And I'm going to need your help a little bit this morning. I haven't quite decided which flavor I'd like to do yet. So I made chocolate just the other day. I'll walk you through those steps, but also I'm kind of having the culinary creative ideas of either doing a like cinnamon raisin donut or a blueberry donut. I can't quite decide, so if you have any suggestions, leave them here in the comments. Help me pick which one. We'll do our donut base, and as well I've got some cashews soaking so we can do a little bit of a glaze. On top, talk a little bit about donut frostings. Hello from Australia. Hello back. Thank you for joining. Let me know which kind of donuts we want to make today, either a blueberry berry with maybe the cashew kind of cream cheese flavor or frosting, or if we want to do like a cinnamon raisin. As we get started, we'll see what everybody's saying and where we want to go with our flavors. But it's super easy. Let's talk equipment for just a moment. We've got our donut silicone mold. You can find these on Amazon. If you check my recipes, I've got some links so you can quickly find which ones I love to use. So our donut silicone mold, this makes it super easy to remove your donuts and have them come out in perfect form. You just need a mixing bowl, a spatula, your ingredients, a measuring cup, measuring spoons, tablespoon, teaspoon. Using just a big and small spoon also work if you don't have the proper measurements. Measurements don't have to be exact here, we'll just play around. And a blender, so we will blend the wet ingredients. Again, if you don't have a blender, it's not so necessary. You can mash your banana and just kind of whisk your wet ingredients together. So super minimal ingredients, super minimal equipment. So now let's talk a little bit about our ingredients. So this is where we can get super creative. I've come up with a base that I think works really well, and then we can add our flavorings. We've got a vote here for blueberry, so keep the votes coming in, blueberry or cinnamon raisin, and we'll see where we go once we start throwing it all together. So our base, we're going to be using oats, and we're going to blend just these quick oats into an oat flour. You can as well already buy pre-made oat flour. If you wanted to experiment with using rice flour or buckwheat flour or any gluten-free flour blend, try this and see how it works. But we're just going to blend this while our blender is dry and make some oat flour. We're also going to be mixing it with a little bit of coconut flour. So that will kind of be our base with a little bit of baking soda, a pinch of salt, and other dry ingredients could include whatever spices you want to throw in or cacao powder. For our wet ingredients, we're going to be using some bananas. So anywhere 1 to 2 bananas. This will also put in a little bit of natural sweetness using the bananas. As well, for natural sweetness, you can use dates or honey. So maybe we're going to do a little bit of both, some dates, a little bit of honey. As well, you can use maple syrup or agave for your sweetener. But keeping it natural, we're not going to add any artificial sweeteners or no sugar grains. You can also use raisins, or we can throw in the raisins whole if we want to do the cinnamon raisin flavors. So again, give me your votes for blueberry donuts or cinnamon raisin donuts, and let's see what we end up making. Next, using a plant-based milk. So let's talk milk health for a moment here. We're using coconut milk. Normally I like to use fresh coconut milk. This morning I don't have, so I am using store-bought, but it is 100% coconut milk. Make sure on whatever plant-based milk you're using, whether almond or soy or rice or oat milk, whatever it may be, if you're not making your own, which is super simple in the blender, then make sure just to read the ingredient label. And I'm not talking reading the nutrition facts here. We're not counting calories or looking at the fat content or anything like this. We want to know what ingredients are actually in your milk. So trying to avoid any additives or preservatives and keeping that ingredient list super minimal and where you can read and understand exactly what is in your product. So plant-based milk, we'll be using a cup of that, some coconut oil melted, high quality. If you want to add in some sort of nut butter, so here we have some peanut butter. If you want to add in some almond butter, or if you have sunflower butter, if you're not doing nuts, whatever it may be, you can add in a little bit of this for, of course, delicious flavor, a boost in nutrients, and yeah, it's amazing. So nut butter, again, if you're buying store-bought, make sure that it's just the roasted nuts, no additives, preservatives, or extra added sugar, which sometimes they like to sneak in. So you as well could add in then different toppings, your cacao powder. If you wanted to make the chocolate donuts like my most recent post, then you add in some cacao powder. Today I'm feeling creative with either blueberry. I still haven't made up my mind whether we want to do blueberry, and I have some frozen berries, so we'll just mix those in, or if we want to do kind of a cinnamon raisin flavor. We'll see. And then our frostings, we'll talk about that maybe a little bit more while our donuts are actually in the oven baking. It only takes them about 10 minutes. But just so you can see that process, we'll do the frosting and talk icons of frosting tips and techniques while our donuts are actually baking. So let's get started. We'll put in our dry ingredients to the bowl, and then we'll be blending our wet ingredients and combining it all together. So this takes just a few moments. We'll set some of our other props to the side. So first let's blend our flour. So as I said, you can take oats and make your own oat flour. So we're going to be doing a cup, a little less, of oat flour, and this will make anywhere from 6 to 8 donuts. I think it made 8 donuts last time that I did this, so we'll see how it goes. So having semi-dry blender, adding your oats. Let's give this a quick mix, and then we have our oat flour. Super simple. Now we have our flour. So we can add this to our mixing bowl. And it's okay, we don't even need to rinse this, we'll just add our wet ingredients once we finish. So adding your oat flour into the bowl. Going to next be adding coconut sugar. not coconut sugar, sorry, coconut flour. So anywhere from like 1/4 to 1/2 of a cup. I think that's good, about 1/3 a cup. Adding this dry ingredient, super simple. Adding about 1 teaspoon of baking soda. You can as well use baking powder. These will just help the donuts rise a little bit. So 1 teaspoon there. And just a pinch of salt. So maybe anywhere from like 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon. Again, measurements don't need to be exact here. We're building culinary confidence. So just getting creative, playing around, and when we use our wholesome ingredients, we know it's going to turn out lovely and delicious no matter how it looks, because the base of it, the foundation, is made so lovingly from the earth. So here we have our super simple base of dry ingredients. Give it a little stir, and now it's time too that we can add in our other toppings. So let's see, blueberry or cinnamon raisin. What will it be? Let's try blueberry because I'm really curious about the experiments. We've got some votes for blueberry, and I'm curious whether it will, we're going to be using frozen berries, so whether it will make the whole donut kind of a purple blue or whether it will stay just the berries. I think it will be a big experiment, so let's do it together and see what happens. Let's have fun with it this morning. So with that, we're going to be making a blueberry donut with like a cashew cream cheese-ish frosting. I think that will be super delicious and nice to start our day this morning with warm donuts. Let's add a little dash of cinnamon in there. I think that will still go nicely. So let's do about 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. If we were doing the cinnamon raisin donuts, we would add a lot more cinnamon, some nutmeg, some of the nice warming spices along with raisins, maybe a little extra sweetness with dates or honey. But yeah, we'll save that project for another day. I'm sure it will manifest. All right, so next we'll do our wet ingredients. So we're going to add our bananas. And again, these will help with sweetness. I'm using these small bananas. You can use big bananas, whichever you have on hand. Anywhere from 1 to 2 bananas. We're using small ones, so here is 3. So adding our bananas, we're going to add 1 cup of our coconut milk or whatever nut-based milk that you are using. Milk, almond milk I think as well could be really nice. We're going to be using 1/4 cup of coconut oil. That's about right. Again, measurements not so exact. Let's throw in some dates for our sweetener, and we're going to use a little bit of honey. We're going to experiment with like 1/2 here. So dates, making sure that you remove the pit. So that's 1. Super easy. 2, 3, 4. Let's do 6 dates. We're making anywhere from 6 to 8 donuts. Now I've lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 to 8 donuts. So that's about a date a donut. Maybe not even. So we can really be cautious and aware of our sweetness here. So dates, let's add a bit of honey. I'm just going to eyeball this, but anywhere maybe like 2 tablespoons, 1/4 cup. Again, you can use maple syrup or agave. Adding in honey. Raisins we're gonna save. That again will be our other flavor that we do another day, our cinnamon, maybe coconut sugar, raisin donuts. We'll save that. Cacao we'll set aside as well, along with other warming spices, and that could be for another flavor. Today we're going fruity, blueberry deliciousness. Peanut butter. Yeah, let's add in a tablespoon or two. Let's just play here. This will also help with the creaminess. So let's do 2 tablespoons of our peanut butter. Again, maybe with some of the other warming ones, maybe 1/4 cup, anywhere to almost 1/2 cup could be really nice. And of course, lick the spoon. Yum! Peanut butter addict, anybody else? I'm American here, what can you expect? All right, so now let's blend our wet ingredients. I think we've got it all. And then our fruit, our blueberries, we're gonna stir in. So let's give this a blend and see what happens. We have our wet mixture here. Let's give it a little taste. I bet it's amazing, like a smoothie. Yum. Sweet and delicious. So now let's add this in to our dry mixture. Really getting all the goodness, our liquid gold from the blender. Beautiful. And now we'll give it a stir. So just kind of really making sure the dry and the wet is well incorporated. Healthy donuts for breakfast. All right, so we're gonna be experimenting. We're gonna be adding in some fruit, some of the frozen fruit. One of my little concerns, because I'm not sure how this is gonna turn out, it is experimental. I love to play in the kitchen, so thank you for your patience as we play together. Maybe it will be fun for you as well to see how it will turn out. But we're gonna be putting the frozen berries in, so whether it will make the whole mixture kind of give us like purple donuts, or whether it will really be the fruit just kind of setting in the batter, or whether maybe as the fruit is cooked it releases a lot of liquid and then our donuts are kind of too wet. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so we've got our mixture here, well stirred. Let's grab our fruit. So here we're just going to be using some frozen mixed berries. I think it's blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Some of them it looks like we're going to have to cut. So it's kind of like a 1/2 cup to a cup. Some of the berries are really quite big like this, where in our donut that's going to take up a lot of space. So I'm just going to cut that into some smaller pieces. Here's just like 2 or so of them. Not much. Yum! Alright, so giving that one more stir. Really incorporating the fruit. It turns it a bit blue already. Maybe we'll have blue donuts, but I think this would look really pretty with our cashew frosting. Alright, so one last stir. Alright, so then we have our donut mold. We're gonna add just a little bit of coconut oil into the, just like a drop will do. You can kind of then use your fingers, spread it around, and spread it between each one. It doesn't take much. Using silicone really helps it automatically pop out of the mold. Alright, so just like a half a teaspoon we'll do of using the coconut oil. Then we're just gonna spoon our donut mixture into the mold. And then just using your finger to kind of help spread it into an even layer. Again, we might have to do 2 batches. It will make more than 6 donuts. Oh, I think they're gonna be amazing. Just having to be a little bit patient as you scoop it into the mold, kind of even it out a little bit. And they will rise a little bit, but not too much. So making it just kind of even with the donut mold, and the shape is perfect. Smoothing it out. I think it's gonna be super. Yum. Giving it a little tap here. Let's see our oven. You can go ahead and put your silicone mat on the tray. Gives it a little more stability. Help even it out. Super tasty. Amazing. And then we're just gonna add our toaster oven here. Again, nothing fancy, not even a real oven. All the recipes I've actually been doing for the past like year and a half since I've been in Thailand is all if I'm baking with the toaster oven. So if you've got college kids, if you are a college kid, anything possible, just with the toaster oven. Root to Rise recipes friendly for toaster oven. So we're just gonna add those in. Set it for about 15 minutes. We'll set our other mixture away. So as you can see, we'll definitely have space. Maybe the next ones will be a bit more blue as our berries melt. We'll see. But set this to the side and we'll finish that up after. All right, so let's just clear off our space a little bit and we'll talk frostings and toppings while our donuts are baking. So let's just make a little space in your cooking area. Always best to work in clean surface. So here we've got our soaked cashews. I didn't overnight soak them because I just came up with the idea this morning that this is what I wanted to do. So this is just boiled and soaked for about an hour or so. So if you're ever in a pinch for time, you can just boil water, pop in your cashews, and at least wait 30 minutes to an hour. So let's strain these, and this will be the base for our donut frosting. So here are cashews. Now we're just gonna rinse the jelly off of them a little bit under the water and just kind of give them a stir. Beautiful. This will be our cashew base. We're just gonna give our blender, actually I think we can leave it. There's just a little bit of our wet mixture left, some of the banana and coconut milk, but I think it will go okay in our icing. So let's leave it. You could rinse it if you want, but we've got nice flavor in there. So we're just gonna straight add our cashews, skip a step, save some time for our 30-minute donuts. Set that aside. All right, so frosting, we're gonna be using cashew-based frosting. Other little tips here, something super easy is just using nut butter. So you can use peanut butter, almond butter on top. You can use a chocolate butter or add your own cacao into a nut butter and use this as a beautiful frosting, spreading it, drizzling it. Everybody loves it. It tastes delicious and it takes 2 seconds. So super simple there. Just use nut butter. You can get creative and play around with colors using cashew based or coconut cream base. So if you put a can of coconut milk in the fridge, or even this coconut milk here in Thailand, if you put it in the fridge or freezer, the fatty part will rise and thicken. So you can blend that and get kind of a coconut whip flavor. So using the top of the coconut can, the thick part, once it sets, and blending that with maybe dragon fruit or papaya, get beautiful pinks and oranges. And that recipe, again, I have on my Reels section of my profile as well as on the blog, so check it out. But today we're going with cashew based. Let's add in some sweeteners. So I feel like it will be a little bit sweet, but also like a cashew cream cheese sweet glaze for our blueberry donuts. So let's add a few dates. Let's play with flavors here without having to define it. It's the fun part. All right, so let's go with about 4 dates. Add a little bit of honey. Again, for just a little sweetener, we're playing here. Keeping clean, simple ingredients, nothing so new from our main batch of ingredients, but just different form. So we've got our cashews, dates, honey. Let's add a pinch of salt, and we're gonna add a little bit of lime there for kind of pinch. And lime. I've got a whole bucket of limes here from a little lime tree behind my house. So super fresh. This quest for zest. Zesty. I can smell the donuts cooking. How are yours doing? Let me know. Let's just add a little bit of lime here. Let's start with half a lime. Once we blend and taste, then we can possibly add the other half. Wow, they're looking amazing. All right, so I think cashews, dates, honeys, pinch of salt, a little bit of lime juice. I think this is gonna be super good. a dash of coconut milk, but not too much. Let's start with just like a tablespoon or two, and then again, we'll adjust consistency, especially to our preferences. Once we get going, you kind of get an eye for it and can play around as you feel. Cleaning a little bit of the equipment. Let me know if you're cooking with me, if you're making some blueberry donuts, or if you're playing around with other flavors. I'd love to know what you're cooking. If you want to see more of cooking and cooking with me, going step by step through the simple, easy process of these plant-based healthy eats, then check out my IGTV channel. You'll find all kinds of tutorials and my live demo schedule you'll get on each of my newsletters, just 2 newsletters a week, roottorise.online. Subscribe, you'll get recipes, holistic health hacks, ways to make health easy and convenient and fun. All right, so let's give this a blend. We've got our toaster oven going. We've got our $25 blender going. Anybody can cook. We don't have too much going at the moment. If you have more, maybe it would blend a little bit better. So now we're going to stop, scrape down the sides a bit, and add just a bit more liquid, see if we can get it blending just a tiny bit while still keeping it kind of creamy like frosting. So just another dash of coconut milk, a little stir, and let's see what happens this time. Again, stop to scrape down the sides, getting a little bit better here. Maybe one more dash of coconut milk. And let's give it another go. Depending on the quality of your blender, will kind of also determine your texture and consistency of your frosting. But I think this looks amazing. We've got a couple chunks of dates because, again, the blender is not the most high speed, but that's okay. Let's show you here how we're doing. I think it's gonna be amazing. Beautiful frosting. Let's give it a taste. Yum. Sweet, not overly sweet. It's gonna taste amazing. Yum. So here we have our frosting. Again, we've talked a little bit of tips here. So using your nut butter for a quick and easy 2-second frosting. We've done our cashew-based frosting using cashews, dates, honey, a little bit of coconut milk. You can play around with the sweetness levels. If you want to play around with color, you could easily add in different powders like beetroot powder or spirulina if you wanted to go super crazy, making like a green frosting, but of course added benefits for health. You could add in dragon fruit, making it pink and beautiful. This would pair maybe nicely on a cacao donut. Play around with the color combinations. So here is our beautiful frosting. And now we're just waiting for our donuts to finish. Let's have a sneak peek here in our toaster. Wow, they're really looking so good. They're rising a little bit. I think it's just got another few minutes, and then we will see how the creation turned out. Normally, I let them sit for about 10 to 15 minutes after they come out of the oven. They're still warm, so super fragile, but the longer they sit in the mold, they have time to cool down and set, and they'll keep their shape coming out just like donuts. It's amazing. So, we'll let those finish cooking. And again, that's not even preheating the oven, anything, it's just putting them right in. It takes 10 to 15 minutes or so for the donuts to cook. Again, things will be slightly different if you're working with a big oven or super fancy blender. This, of course, will change a little bit of consistencies and your end result. But as long as we're all starting with these same ingredients, getting creative as you feel, no matter how it looks like or what equipment you're working with, they're going to taste amazing. Be beautiful, delicious donuts, and of course, up-level your health as we're working with wholesome plant-based ingredients. So connecting you with earth, connecting you with yourself, and authentically with others, especially if you want to share your beautiful magic kitchen creations. So there we have it. Our donuts, we've made our blueberry donuts this morning. Thank you for your suggestions and your help. Maybe next time, as I'm having so much fun making donuts, especially with this donut mold, it was like $2 online, and it's bringing so much joy. So definitely a fun investment if you're a foodie and want to make your own donuts. Let's see, yeah, next time maybe we can make our cinnamon raisin. I think this would be really special, and maybe even then mixing like cinnamon and nutmeg with a little bit of coconut sugar, creating like kind of a crumbly, mixing it with dates glaze. Could maybe like put swirls in the bottom of the donut mold and then some of your batter. Do another swirl with kind of this sugary sweet concoction, adding more of your donut batter and just kind of playing there with layers. So maybe too, when you'd open it up, then you'd kind of have the swirl of like a cinnamon roll, cinnamon sugar amazingness as you feel. So here we have our frosting, donuts in the oven. If you have any questions or comments as we go, anything about health or lifestyle health, any recipe ideas, dishes that you love and you're curious about how to make it healthier, or wanting a plant-based version of some sort of dish that's maybe even using meat or dairy, how to get creative and play with that, leave it here on the comments. Let's talk about it while we've got a minute for discussion. So we'll give a little sneak peek here of our donuts. Wow. They're looking so, so, so good. You can see they're slightly rising. Hot. Slightly rising, definitely not set yet. They need a few more minutes. Sorry guys, they go back in the oven. So definitely still a bit mushy and wet. You'll know when they're done. They'll be lightly browned on the top, and still they'll be like moist and squishy a bit, but once you let them cool and set completely, like 10 to 15 minutes, then they will be more firm to the touch. but right now you can definitely tell they're too gooey, so letting those bake a little longer will turn up the heat a bit. Let them rest and just be patient there in the process. So little quick announcements too. Thank you so much for joining. Hello. Welcome to the kitchen. We've got some donuts in the oven in our toaster oven here. Anybody can cook, minimal equipment. We've made a cashew-based frosting for our donuts, so they're kind of breakfasty donuts, healthy, amazing afternoon snack for tea time, tea and donuts, and you can get super creative. You'll find the replay of this live on my IGTV channel, so you can go back and listen to all the tips and tricks to get creative with whatever experiment and flavors that you want to be working with, whatever your cravings are. You can satisfy those with some of the tips and tricks that I've been giving throughout the video. So find the replay on my IGTV channel. You can also find it on the Root to Rise YouTube channel. I'll link it there as well. You can find all these platforms on roottorise.online, which is my website, my overall platform. You'll find all my recipes, breakfast, smoothie bowls, juices, main meals, dips, dressings, sweet treats, these amazing creative donuts. Everything that I'm doing there you'll be able to find on the website, as well as holistic health and wellness, donuts. Let's turn the timer on a little longer. Not quite done yet. They need more time. But again, yeah, you can find all information, health and wellness, so not just diet, but lifestyle health as well. So how to up-level your relationships and communication, how to show up more authentic, and communicate with loved ones or coworkers or the people that you are around in your life. Things for how to self-reflect, how to manifest, how to make all your dreams come true and get rid of limiting beliefs, self-doubts and fears stopping you from what you want most in this life. What else is on there? Exercise tips and links for videos. So everything holistic health, lifestyle, check out on roottorise.online. All right, so we've got a question here. Thank you so much. What is your best recommended jackfruit recipe? I love jackfruit so much, especially the young jackfruit. This can make an amazing like meat replica. So I think one of my favorites, it's a tie between two. One is jackfruit loaded nachos. Super amazing. Make like a vegan cheese sauce, again, recipe on the blog there, and add all your taco recipes, toppings. So if you want to add beans and lettuce and salsas and avocado guacamole, yeah, you can get super creative. All your favorites, some sauteed vegetables, and of course then your jackfruit, marinated jackfruit. And I love working with jackfruit too because it's so versatile, so play around with the spices and it will have different flavors. So you can spice it with some paprika and chili powder, maybe a dash of cumin, kind of give some Mexican spices, a little dash of oregano maybe, salt, pepper, some garlic, onions, make it kind of like a taco meat and add it to some healthy nacho chips and make a topping bar. I love the jackfruit loaded nachos, and again, that's one too, if you're eating with family or friends, you can make it super fun and interactive, having all the bowls of your toppings, and then that way everybody can kind of personalize the dish to how they want and connect with their food in a fun way. So jackfruit loaded nachos, and the other one it's a tie for is the jackfruit barbecue sandwiches. So I'm from North Carolina in the States, barbecue state, so finding a plant-based alternative for barbecue sandwiches was super exciting. Jackfruit does amazing. It's looking just like pulled pork, and again, when you make the barbecue sauce with it, it's tasting just the same, healthy, nutritious, and the same kind of feelings arise that link it back to culture and nostalgia of childhood and things like this. So that's fun. And yes, both of those are on my site. The jackfruit barbecue sandwiches was also featured in a magazine at home. So that one's super fun. But yes, both of them on my site. On the site you could probably search jackfruit or barbecue sandwiches or loaded nachos and see if it comes up. Otherwise you'll find them on the main meals section. Roottorized.online, recipes, main meals, link your way all the way to the recipes. But yeah, thank you so much for your questions. I hope you enjoy. I hope you're as big of a jackfruit lover as I am, and that this helps a little bit. Okay. So they're finally starting to set a little bit. Still, they're not finished. Always having to play around a bit with the heat and temperature, but yeah, anywhere like, depending on your oven and the heat, maybe anywhere from 180 to 200 degrees Celsius, so maybe like 350 to 400 degrees in Fahrenheit for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, depending again on how it's turning out, just to give your eye not so much attached to the time, but whether it's finished or not. Yes, amazing. So we've got people already starting to try the jackfruit. This is so lovely. And let me know too, I'm curious, jackfruit being a great meat replacement, whether you are plant-based or wanting to transition or just add in more things to your diet, or whether you're already plant-based and just looking for fun new recipes. It's always kind of fun to know other people's dietary plans and what they're seeking around new recipes and the purpose there. Alright, so we'll give this just a few more minutes. We can go ahead and transfer our frosting into a bowl. And something fun here with the frosting is whether you want to smear it on the donut, you can have like a whole coated frosting. You can as well do like a piping bag, or even just use a plastic bag and cut the corner and do some sort of drizzle. Excuse me, or design. You can play around with this. Little tips there for your frosting decorations. Gold, it's amazing. Sometimes it's hard to get around the blade, so just kind of scraping a little bit. So here we will have our frosting, our icing, whichever you would like to call it. Yes, super amazing cooking here. We've got our frosting for our donuts and donuts in the oven. I'm hoping they'll be finished here in just a moment so I can kind of show you the end. Maybe we don't ice them quite together because they do need to sit 10 to 15 minutes or so before you would put the frosting and take them out of the pan. That way they're really set. So we'll take them out, let them sit a little bit. Then we can decorate with our icings and maybe add some other toppings if you want to sprinkle coconut on top, or add an extra honey drizzle or nut butter drizzle, or add any kinds of nuts, cacao powder, cinnamon sprinkle. You can again get super creative with the toppings. It's just that extra dash of love, any sort of zest, or yeah, as you feel. It can be fruity, chocolatey, sweet, savory. These are kind of our breakfast donuts. I feel like they'll be nice with maybe some coconut shreds on top. Maybe a little bit of lavender. Let's go with this too. It's beautiful, it's nice and feminine, and will give a fun little flavor. So not too much, but a little sprinkle I think will be really nice and take our donuts next level. And calming effects of lavender, it's beautiful. Smelling, eating, love it all. So yeah, our blueberry donut, breakfast donuts in the making. Once these set as well, we can transfer them to a plate and work on our second batch. So here we still have about half of our batter of donuts left. So again, each batch makes different. When I made some the other day using the same base but different toppings, it made 8 donuts. So yeah, just playing around, but of course the more the better. And this one, our frozen berries are starting to melt a little bit, so when we mix it, maybe these will be a bit more blue-pink than the ones coming out now. But all experimental, it's fun to play, and this was a big experiment for me this morning. So I'm so happy that you joined this morning for our fun kitchen play, up-leveling your health and happiness as we connect to wholesome ingredients coming from the earth, and giving a big thank you and mindfulness to Pachamama, our Mother Earth, for providing everything that we have here in front of us. So grown with love and given to us in love, then we'll eat in love. Let's see, let's check one more time. Let's show you kind of where we are with our donuts. Beautiful. They're looking really good. Wow, I think they're almost done. You can kind of tell a little firm to the touch. Hot. So you can see here, they still need maybe another like 5 minutes, I think would be perfect. And then you just let them sit in the mold just like this, and they will firm up. Coming out just like donuts. So we're gonna pop these in the oven. Next step will be just to add the frosting and whatever toppings, and then of course enjoy warm. And they're super amazing, super healthy. I've had so much fun with y'all this morning making our delicious donuts. I can't wait to show you. Check in my story later for how they turned out and some beautiful photos of our end result. But so far, I think it's amazing. They just need a little more time in the oven, but we're here with our donuts. We're gonna spread our amazing frosting, cashew-based, plant-based, sweet, delicious. So thank you so much for joining this morning. I hope your donuts are gonna turn out super amazing no matter what creative energy you infuse them with and which flavors you went with. I can't wait to try our blueberry donuts, our new experiment. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope to see you next time. Make sure to subscribe to my newsletter, roottorise.online, so you can find out what recipes we're making next. Have all kinds of tools for healthy recipes and holistic health. As well, I've just launched a cookbook, Quest for Zest Thailand. You can find it on Amazon. Put it in the search engine, Quest for Zest Thailand, and you'll get 50 plus plant-based recipes, all gluten-free, reconnecting you to mind, body, and spirit through our food and food choices. So a lot of fun there, a lot of my energy, each recipe coming with fun, vibrant photos, and all my love. So thank you so much. Let's have a little more patience with our donuts in the oven, and then I can't wait to eat. So see you next time. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I hope you have a beautiful day or evening wherever you are in the world, and I'm sending you so much love.